Okay, I think I got a good opening line for this. We each say one line. One of us will say, here's what we're gonna do. We get our asses to Mars. Then the next person says, review this movie. And then the final one says, and blow this up and be home in time for cornflakes.
I vote for saying the cornflakes line.
Oh, I want to say the cornflakes line.
Come on, it's got the best cheesiness.
I have to sit here in between you two and experience this. I will blow you both up and be home in time for cornflakes.
That's scary.
I'm over here thinking, dang, he actually worked that in. He got to say it.
Dang.
Okay. Well played, Benoit.
Well played. Now let me consider this a divorce.
Well, you are the married one.
Yes, and screw you. Screw both of you.
I'll
Okay, we're gonna have to bleep that one out. Okay,
you're not monetizing this one, John.
I don't monetize anything yet. I don't have enough subscribers. Please click subscribe. Okay, this is starting to feel like a different podcast than we normally do. I'm having fun.
I'm having fun. It's good to be home.
Yeah, it's about time you join us again, Tyler.
It's been since June.
Yeah, well, he has been kind of busy lately.
Freaking juggling 2 jobs.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, welcome to Nerdvana Podcast, where we're going to be looking at the 1990 film Total Recall, and another one of Paul Verhoeven's movies, and is sort of kind of like the flip side, in a way, to RoboCop. If listeners that are still here, you remember me saying that RoboCop doesn't really have any nostalgic value to me when I was a kid. The only connection I have is that it's the character's named Murphy and it takes place in Detroit. That's it. Total Recall is a little bit different. I never watched it as a kid, but anyone who's grown up watching movies knows who Arnold Schwarzenegger is.
Yeah, honestly, a good chunk of film my dad would watch. Like, he would sit me down right beside him, and a good 90-80% of the times they're Arnold movies.
Mm-hmm.
And with good reason. They're funny.
Yeah, what was your first Arnold movie?
My first Arnold movie was actually Total Recall.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Ian?
The Terminator.
Ah, yes, of course.
Which we need to review at some point.
Oh, yes, and my first Arnold movie, I think my first full Arnold movie, was Terminator 2.
Ooh, classic.
A class, and yeah. Spoiler alert. Cried at the end.
Who hasn't?
What? Men weren't supposed to cry? Well, they did when they made Terminator 2. He gave him a thumbs up.
Yes. But
all right. So Total Recall is.
It's unique.
It is unique. I mean, it's based on a short story by Philip K. Dick called "We Can Remember It for You Wholesale."
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of and if you just look on it on Wikipedia, this movie seems to almost follow it to a certain degree.
Yeah. Like, for you got the reboot, and then you got this one. The reboot kind of goes more in depth of that book, while this one, it tries to have fun.
It does have fun. So hold on, before we kind of get into details, and before I actually start the timer on this, what did you all think of it?
I have a couple gripes with, physics and stuff, but we'll get into that. It's not my usual cup of tea, but I found it enjoyable.
Okay.
I find it timeless in a weird sense because, taking off nostalgia goggles when doing something like this, and you have to look for legit criticism, it kind of has a special charm to it, because it's not actually, if I were to be honest, it's not overly unique, because the sets feel like a freaking collaboration of 3 different sci-fi movies into one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had, you got Blade Runner, you got, what was that?
Back to the Future Part 2.
Back to the Future Part 2. And there was a third one, I can't remember.
You'll probably think of it later.
But yeah, and it's like a 3 meshed together to create this weird future that is neither unique, but at the same time kind of is. And that's the best way I can describe it.
I think of it as it's both dated and yet timeless. Its setting is it's like the original Ghostbusters. It's lightning in a bottle. It walks the line between both, and the effects, both practical and special, are have not aged and aged pretty well. But the writing, the themes, the concepts, that is what gives it that timeless feel to it. Like the whole idea that of memories kind of being fake, the line between reality and fantasy.
Got you beat, Matrix.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ian, where do you stand on this? Do you think it was real? Was Dennis Quaid actually a secret agent?
Okay,
Was it all in his mind?
I think that means now to start the timer. 1 hour, or at least we have a 1 hour time limit.
Was it real? Okay, keeping in the fact that this is a science fiction film, I don't know, because physics says no.
Okay.
Okay.
Taking physics out of the equation, though. Like
You can't do that.
Well, hey, we don't know what the future holds for us, but
physics stays the same.
Was Dennis Quaid actually a secret agent, John?
Was it Dennis Quaid? I forget his name. I just know they just say Quaid a lot.
Douglas Quaid.
Douglas Quaid, that's it. It's funny, I was also thinking like Randy Quaid while we were watching it.
Independence Day much?
Yeah, well, hey, aliens, sci-fi. Okay. There's a lot of evidence to support that it was all fantasy, that it was all make-believe, that Quaid is still in the chair at recall, just drooling, drowning in his own saliva because he's freaking lobotomized now.
Yeah. On the other hand, there's also evidence supporting that it was all actually real.
Mm-hmm. I think that is due to the fact that it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. We can kind of see him in this role of being a secret agent, being a savior of the planet.
Okay, come on. Arnold was a Terminator. He was a commando in frickin' Predator.
Mm-hmm.
He was a secret agent in True Lies. Mm-hmm. What role has he had played in any secret agent roles?
Mm-hmm. And the other is that the first shot of the movie, the first scene of the movie is with Arnold, with some lady that we don't know, on Mars. And then it turns out to all be a dream. So how do we know that wasn't just really a dream cooked up inside of his head, but an actual memory playing as a dream?
And that's the biggest thing I like about this movie, because I love movies like this where there's no clear-cut answers. Honestly, I wish movies today didn't just spoon-feed us. I want movies to challenge me and, ask me, what do you think? Because there's very few of them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's movies like this that make it so much fun to have a discussion with another moviegoer, to have a chat with them.
Uh-huh. Ian?
Again, it could go either way. Physics says no, but since when has ever film followed physics perfectly?
I know. We all know that no one would actually revert back to normal after experiencing explosive decompression and then finally being in an environment of oxygen. We know that. Even my sister knew that, and she's not even a scientist.
I would like to see that eyeballs burst.
Mm-hmm.
that is disturbing right there.
And that's the other thing that I'm kind of impressed, is that some of the practical effects, like the puppetry, are just amazing. Of course, some of them are obvious. I love stuff like that, like Puppet Arnold.
Oh yeah.
The rubber skin.
Honestly...
No, John, it was real. It was real foam rubber.
Honestly, the special effects I still love because they just stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of takes you down to the good old days.
All right, you don't have to talk softly anymore, man.
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty close to the mic, and I'm the one that's actually louder.
I prefer speaking softly to enunciate.
Fair enough. Alright, so this whole story of Total Recall is that Douglas Quaid, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is kind of fed up with his boring life. He's as a construction worker and married to a hot Sharon Stone before Basic Instinct, and so goes to a company called Recall, spelled with a K, to get fake memory implants of a special vacation. And he pays for a special package, but something seems to go awry, and he's now involved in some kind of corporate conspiracy, government kind of thing, all taking place on Mars.
It's an Arnold film. What do I expect?
Mm-hmm. With all the noises and faces and one-liners that go with it.
Honestly, Get your ass to Mars.
Get to the chopper. Oh wait, wrong movie.
But
I'll be back.
It's kind of. I have an interesting talk with like people like you, John, and you, Ian, when we get to the discussions about which version is better, and I ask him like, when people go to this one, are you really there for a character named Douglas Quaid? Are you there for Arnold and his noises that he made? Because let's be honest.
Yeah, I'll admit it. Yeah, I do kind of prefer this over the remake because of Arnold. I will admit that.
Because, we're not there to see Douglas. We're there to see Arnold making these goofy faces looking like he gotta take a dump.
Mm-hmm.
And make some weird noises.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we've established the fact that, yes, if an Arnold movie comes with faces, noises, and one-liners.
Oh, crap, I just remembered.
What?
The one-liners?
No, John, remember when I told you that Arnold was originally, asked to play Superman?
Oh my god! I think, yes, now I do.
That was a thing?
Yes, we can, yeah,
that was a thing.
Our Superman review, we actually had moments where we were thinking of one-liners that he would say if he was Superman. I think it was for... Yes, it was the villain it was the bad guy that was climbing up the glass building with suction cups. Typical Tom and Jerry logic right there.
Of course.
Oh god, yeah.
Then now I have to picture Arnold as a Superman confronting Raul Julia as M. Bison and hamming it up as they go combat to combat.
I don't know. I mean, you could just put Schwarzenegger's face, over Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That works.
And just, and just replace, and just overdub the audio like that. You pretty much just get the same thing. Get the hostages out!
It's official. This review has devolved into some sort of weird amalgamation of Arnold stuff.
I know.
That's the problem. It's kind of hard not to talk about the film without the Arnold.
I know,
because he's the center of it all.
Mm-hmm.
The big A.
I mean, well, okay, that's not true. Michael Ironside,
mm-hmm. Who it occurred to me yesterday that this is the second Paul Verhoeven movie that has a connection to Free Willy. Because Michael Ironside is the bad guy in that movie.
Isn't Michael Ironside connected to Paul Van Her... I don't know how to pronounce it. Verhoeven in a lot of movies?
No, he wasn't.
Wait a
minute. No, you're thinking of Ronnie Cox, who played Cohagen and Dick in RoboCop.
Wasn't he in Starship Troopers?
I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen that one.
Because I remember he was the commander over Mr. Rico.
Well, I haven't seen Starship Troopers. But the reason why I said that is because RoboCop, the composer, was Basil Palladores, who composed for Free Willy.
The composer of this one is Jerry Goldsmith, right?
Jerry Goldsmith, yeah.
Classical composer who made timeless classics such as Star Trek.
Not the original theme, the one that became, in the first motion picture, that became the Next Generation theme.
And beside that, he also made a soundtrack for the original Alien film.
Oh, yeah!
Yes. Good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Knows how to do his stuff.
Yes, he does. Alright. So, I really don't know how we can actually pad this out to an hour, if we can with... I think, how about, let's just try to think about what we liked, how about the sets? I like 80s and 90s movies that decide to display a future where it looked like the 80s still lives on. So, like, again, Blade Runner, Back to the Future Part 2, and even this movie, I mean, still looks futuristic, but still kind of down to earth. Whereas current movies set in the future, it's all sleek and aerodynamic, and everything is a hover car and automated.
I don't know. Like, not knocking against the sets. Like, I honestly prefer a more dystopian feel.
So, like Maze Runner?
Yeah.
Like Hunger Games, that kind of stuff?
Not quite Hunger Games, but something more drab, dreary. Like, imagine Gotham as if it was in Total Recall. I would like to see that more with the colony on Mars. See it kind of like dark, dingy, it's not really safe.
Well, we kind of get that in the remake.
Yeah.
Which we will review at some point.
I'll put it on the list. With every other freaking movie we have on that list.
I know.
But, I do enjoy the philosophical side as well as the characters acting. The one thing I did kind of, this is just a nitpick, it does feel like it drags out at times.
Really?
Certain scenes.
Like,
open your mind, Quay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Open your mind.
Melted Chucky.
Yes. Melted Chucky. And then, I mean, yes, it's funny for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I mean, okay, it's funny to see that woman making so many facial expressions, grabbing her mouth and just trying to yank it apart as if she's been possessed by a demon. Which, hey Arnold, you're still in that one demon movie I have to review. The End of Days.
Oh, that one.
And that, it's funny to see her, acting like that, but, it kind of dragged out a bit.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't think it dragged out a bit.
I don't know. I don't know how to put my finger on it. It's like
I can't understand your mind.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. I guess maybe some. No, nothing actually did feel like it was dragged out to me.
Like, it's not many. It's just a couple moments. It feels dragged out. It's like, get on with it. And, I do have to say it's a joy to see all these actors. Like, actors that I don't know that just stand out. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like, these are like one hit wonder actors. Not Michael Ironside, but that guy who had the unfortunate, got unfortunately stabbed in the
stomach by the midget.
Yes, and then was Melina? Is that her name?
Yeah, Melina.
Was she in other movies? Like,
I don't know.
Rachel Ticotin. Let me check.
Because like,
she has appeared in Fort Apache, The Bronx, Total Recall, Falling Down, and Con Air. She's appeared in
Con Air.
Con Air, huh?
Oh.
She has appeared in the NBC legal drama Law and Order Los Angeles.
Oh,
And she guest starred in the Warriors episode of Blue Bloods in 2013.
Huh. So yeah, there's a lot of one-hit actors here, and not like as in they're bad. It's just they don't really appear in films often.
They're here, and then they're gone.
Like a wind.
almost like a ghost, and they leave such an impression, like Newt from Aliens.
Exactly.
She's actually a teacher now.
Oh,
Really?
Mm-hmm. So all her students can say, "Hey, Mom, my teacher was in this movie. Can I watch it?"
Oh, man.
what kind of teacher is she? A science teacher?
That'd be funny.
Can't recall. I think it's like grade school, if I recall correctly.
That would be funny, but no, it's like that's actually what makes the 80s call the 80s. There's a lot of actors that just appear for one significant role that they're defined as, and they just vanish, like as if they, well, never existed.
Let's see. So
I mean, at first I thought that guy who looked like Danny DeVito, but apparently he's not Danny DeVito.
he's not Danny DeVito. He's discount Danny DeVito. Probably because they couldn't really afford him at the moment.
I mean, he talks like him, he even acts like him. I was like, dang, he even sounds like him.
Yeah, even Yeah, it even sounds like him too.
Oh man.
Let's see. What? So what else? What else is there?
Yeah.
How about? Okay. I like the design of the recall chair, like both of them, but actually more specifically the first one. I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, what all was put into that to make it look like that? Because it doesn't look like it was just all. It doesn't look like it was just all carved out of plastic, and then you just slap a bunch of lights on it. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Schwarzenegger, down in the production. Schwarzenegger first personally recruited Paul Verhoeven to direct the film, having been impressed by the Dutch director's RoboCop, for which Schwarzenegger was considered for the title role.
Ah.
Anyway, I just saw that scrolling down to your soundtrack. I'm trying to find, like, the making of Legacy video game.
Oh, yeah, there was.
There was a video game for the NES.
I do remember reading that Schwarzenegger actually had to have all his food catered to him, not because he's not a prima donna. It's because where it was filmed, I think it was filmed in Mexico, and last time he was in Mexico, filming in Mexico was when he was involved with Predator, and all the food there caused everyone to get food poisoning, so they were kind of dehydrated from all of that. So for this movie, he had to have all his foods specifically, brought from somewhere else, because he learned from the last time.
I wouldn't blame him.
Let's see.
The original screenplay was written by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett, the writers of Alien, who wrote the initial script for the collaboration on Alien.
It's like this film has a lot of alien ties.
I had a feeling those names were familiar. I was like, wait, those aren't the guys that wrote the first Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And the screenplay was written by those two, plus Gary Goldman, who's actually a frequent collaborator with Don Bluth, the animator behind An American Tail, The Secret of Nim, and The Land Before Time. And All the Dogs Go to Heaven. Let's not forget that.
Let's not forget that. Well, Anastasia.
Well, forget that, or was he part of that?
Was he a part of that?
Probably. I don't know.
It's kind of weird how many ties it has to the Alien movie.
I mean, considering that even the imprint on the on the the central console that's supposed to activate the reactor kind of almost looks like the hand of a xenomorph. No, 4 fingers.
It needs more fingers. I believe xenomorphs have 7.
It's just usually it's bunched together.
Yeah.
Oh.
The more interesting thing is, like, I will praise it one thing. This movie's practical effects are on par with The Thing.
The Thing. Oh god, yeah.
No, with all the mutants and everything else.
I think they might have used the same amputee for when Richter gets killed off, like they, from The Thing.
I was kind of wondering about that one. It was like, that would have been one awesome coincidence.
I'm just assuming. I'm not stating if it's a fact.
But the whole, like, when you see all these mutants designs, Chucky, discount Chucky,
Chucky, the guy that looks like he's got a butthole on his face.
Yep, and that one guy that will never shut up about his 5 kids. Oh wait, scratch that, 4.
Oh no, wait, actually no kids. In fact, he doesn't even have a wife.
Yeah, I ain't even married. Oh, Benny. You know, I should have called you Bender because you are an ass, and you should have told Quay to bite your shiny metal butt. But yeah, I was actually still impressed when Benny took out his hand and revealed that weird.
Oh, yeah. Not just the practical effects, but the lighting. All the moving lighting and the shafts. Oh, Spielberg would be proud.
Oh yes. Now, Ian, what was your favorite part?
I like going around the Mars colony, just seeing life, because as a writer, background details are important. You need to fill out the background so that it feels real.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what me and Rebecca in our initial 2 seasons of reviewing the DreamWorks Dragon series constantly looked out for, because she's a creative writing manager. And she was constantly on the lookout for any details of the culture. So
Okay.
that was something I enjoyed. Aside from Arnold, because everyone enjoys Arnold.
My favorite part is the first initial fight in the entrance of the reactor when they use the holowatch.
Oh, that was cool.
It's cool,
Yes.
And it's funny because it's again Arnold being Arnold. He laughs, and my favorite part is when he just turns to the side, starts laughing, goes, "You think this is the real Quaid?" Turns, it is, and shoots. Oh my god!
I feel like he had too much fun in that scene.
Oh
He
yes.
had to have so much fun with that. In fact, honestly, my favorite part. Ooh. Honestly, the part when they're trying to convince them to take the pill.
Yeah, that is. I'll have to agree with you on that. Not simply because it made me laugh, but because it's. I mean, it fills you with doubt, and it also kind of foreshadows. It foreshadows what's the third act, the whole thing.
Yeah. And honestly, it makes you question everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, it had that one awesome one-liner with Sharon Stone kicking the bucket. Arnold is finesseful with his words, I'll say.
He's an artist in that department.
He's an artist in
Oh,
the...
come on.
What?
No, not you guys. I was just looking up schizoid embolism, because that's what Dr. Edgemar says that Quaid has. I just looked it up. It's not a thing.
It isn't. Oh, of course, sci-fi. You can make up anything, such as antimatter, which wasn't a thing before it was. I think.
Yeah.
Before we found it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. I mean, most of I'm thinking most of scientific discoveries start. Science fact often starts out as science fiction. It's all just imagination.
Which actually, that's the fun part. It starts off imagination and comes to real life. Let's look at Star Trek and those freaking communicators. Mm-hmm. Inspiration for cell phones.
Cell phones.
Self-opening doors.
Self-opening doors. Also, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Tablets.
Tablets? Yes. And, well, here's another one. This is going to be venturing from film, but there's a game called Dot Hack, which foreshadows the culture of today's world. It's kind of scary.
So, yeah.
Oh, you mean Idiocracy?
Idiocracy too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of scary how life is imitated.
Mm-hmm. I know, that's the scary part, which is why I'm kind of okay with the meteor getting here.
Yeah, when is that?
When?
I have no idea.
Hopefully soon.
I kind of want to live a few more years.
I do too. I kind of want to make the most out of life before I go.
My
mean, because
retirement
we're
plan
not
is dying at 65, so I got nothing.
Yeah, we're not here to live a long time. We're here to have a great time.
Yeah.
And why would you want to live forever?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to live forever?
But anyway,
back onto this movie.
yeah. Yeah.
Back on this movie, I kind of liked what you said about how it starts out as imagination, then goes into reality, because that was actually the perfect, that pretty much sums up the first the first 2 minutes of the movie, because the first one is a dream, a fantasy, and before we're crashed back to reality. Crash back to reality, only to want to return to that dream, only to wonder if we actually are in that dream. With the ending line as, what's wrong? What if this is a dream? What if I wake up?
It is just not the whole wake up question. It's just like, then kiss me before you wake up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which also, that just reminded me, again, another Verhoeven movie where the girl actually saves the guy before he gets killed. First one was RoboCop.
Yep.
No. What? Why did I bring that up? No real reason. Just wanted to get that out there.
Now we can put it in the tags.
Really? So what would the tag be?
RoboCop.
Okay.
Don't you know how to work YouTube, John?
I do know how to work YouTube, but usually I don't like to put in just random tags.
No, they have to be related.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Robo Recall.
No, we're No, we're close.
Starship Cop. Let's just mix them all up.
Didn't Nintendo already try that with Terminator versus RoboCop?
Yep. Turned out okay. Ish.
Ish.
Ish. Okay.
So what are we talking about now? I completely forget.
I really have no idea. We're really just rambling off about maybe some of the philosophical points of Total Recall, just the sheer cheesiness of the fact that it's an Arnold movie.
Well, honestly, it feels more like a B movie than any top tier movie.
I mean, nowadays it looks cheesy enough, but back in 1990, which feel old, Tyler? The movie's as old as us.
I know.
Speak for yourself.
But
that's what I mean.
But that's the kind of weird thing. Like
this, back in the day, it was a hit.
It was a hit. Though I do wonder, is like how the special effects, like, how do you keep special effects from appearing out of date?
Sometimes you just can't. Real.
Because, like, every time I watch The Thing, it still creeps me out, and it feels...
I think a little of that might also have to do with the lighting.
The lighting.
Because when that head turns into a spider, which still creeps me out to this day. Ugh.
A little bit
It's
of
just-
an arachnophobe, John.
Yes, I do have arachnophobia.
In that case, don't come to the park. Or at least avoid Morty.
But
Who's Morty? Is he a tarantula?
Our Mexican red-kneed tarantula.
okay, please don't fade on me, man.
I have to send you some pictures of him. He's adorable.
No! No! Okay, I'm okay with the little spiders. I'm not okay with the ones whose body are the size of my pinky.
Remember, John, bigger means less poisonous.
I thought that was only for scorpions.
No, the small ones
No.
are more. Well, yeah, kind of. But remember, Black Widows.
Oh right, of course. Scorpions and spiders are kind of in the same what, family, genus?
No, not
Species.
genus. I believe it is family.
Okay.
Arachnidae.
Let's go back on course.
so
I got the critical
But-
response
and-
here pulled up. It made...
but anyway, as how much?
The
Pretty
film
sure-
ultimately grossed 261 million with a couple
And-
extra numbers.
And its budget?
One moment. There we go. Budget 50 to 65 million.
Okay, so that's
Smashing hit.
I think for 1990 that would technically be a smashing hit, and also enough to, not only to cover cost of production, but also to cover the cost of advertising.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do love about Recall, it wasn't milked.
No, it wasn't.
You know, it could, like, weirdly enough, any franchise with Arnold is barely milked. You know, Predator had, like, Predator 1 and 2, but it kind of stopped at 2.
It stopped after 2 and then kind of got revived in the mid 2000s, or was it in the start of 2010 with Predators.
Yep, 2010s.
2010s.
But, you know,
The only one that got milked to death was Terminator.
Terminator.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
But-
I gotta watch the latest two yet.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in seeing Dark Fate.
I'm not gonna watch it. But regardless, you could have easily done Total Recall 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll be like, it could have gotten worse and worse and worse. And I'm thankful they didn't. You know,
I mean, in the original story, the story ends, and this comes from the Wikipedia page that Quaid willingly gets a new memory implant about like other creatures that he memories about creatures that he pretended were real when he was a kid, and then it turns out yes, they were real. Kind of like that whole Twilight Zone thing.
oh yeah.
You know, where there's like a society of mini people and they shrink the one character down. That kind of thing, but
That show creeps me out.
Gene Roddenberry. Not Gene Roddenberry.
Sterling Holloway.
Yeah, Sterling Holloway. And
No, not Sterling Holloway.
Jerry Goldsmith's a part of Twilight Zone.
Really? Oh yeah.
He's everywhere.
He is Yes, he is.
But, yeah, like, can you imagine? What would Total Recall 2 be about? Where do you go?
Maybe
There
it would
was a television series comic book sequel.
Oh, really?
Really?
I'll read this off to you. Due to the film's success, a sequel was written with the script titled Total Recall 2, with Schwarzenegger's character, still Douglas Quaid, now working as a reformed law officer. The sequel was based on another Philip K. Dick short story, quote, The Minority Report,
Oh!
which hypothesizes about a future where crime can be solved before it is committed. In the movie, the clairvoyants would be Martian mutants. In 1994, producer Mario Kassar spoke with director Ronnie Yu about possibly helming the sequel. In 1998, my birth year, actor-director Jonathan Frakes also attached to the follow-up. The sequel was ultimately not filmed, but the script survived and it was changed drastically and contained greater elements from the original short story. The story was eventually adapted into the Steven Spielberg sci-fi thriller Minority
with
Report,
Tom Cruise,
which opened in 2002 to commercial success.
Okay, guys, can you imagine Arnold in that movie as the Minority Report?
Probably, yeah. He's more of a convincing runner than Tom Cruise.
Well,
Runs like he has flat feet.
That's not that hard to beat, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
now
man.
Man, you know, I kind of avoid Tom Cruise because he's kind of a wackadoo, and been fairly successful until The Mummy came out, and I can safely say that was the best decision of my life.
To watch that movie?
No, to avoid Tom Cruise. But anything with Steven Spielberg, yeah, I'll watch it. Even if the Minority Report does have Tom Cruise, I'll watch it. And my God, I think I completely forgot that. Yeah, the Minority Report was going to be a sequel to Total Recall.
I actually would like to see what that would have been like.
Kind of like with Street Fighter, like what we just did earlier in the show. Just replace Tom Cruise with Arnold Schwarzenegger and overdub him, and then there you go.
Touché.
Let's.
Honestly, I don't know what else to talk about.
No, I don't know what else. It's a fairly straightforward movie.
It is a fairly straightforward movie. Honestly, it's like, unless you want to get philosophical and make people's brain explode, like Scanners.
I think with Michael Ironside in it.
With Michael Ironside in it.
Let's.
All these connections
All right.
are fun.
Okay, how about one little nitpick? In the first fight in the reactor, where Quaid does the fake out of it, that he's really just a hologram. Okay, was that a solid hologram, or was it not? Because the bullets should have at least gone through him and then hit all the other soldiers. I mean, it worked when Melina did it. So why this one? Is it a shadow clone jutsu, or is it just a clone jutsu? I need to know!
We call it Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so Ian, the thing with the heat and the rods activating the oxygen on the planet of Mars, was that like nuclear fusion or fission, whatever that thing is? Is that how that's a nuclear reactor is supposed to work?
I think that took very, very big liberties.
Oh, that's not my field, but yeah, that's not how it works.
Okay.
No. I think that. Actually, if you want to get technical, isn't that pretty much terraforming on the spot?
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it works.
Core of Mars.
Well, I think that's probably. Well, then that's another item in a another long list of items that pretty much point to this being a dream.
Yeah, they even get the structure of Mars wrong. What did they say was in it?
Tritium?
Tritium.
I don't think that's a thing, but the core of Mars is surrounded by a silicate mantle that formed many of the tectonic and volcanic features on the planet, but now appears to be dormant. Besides silicon and oxygen, the most abundant elements in the Martian crust are iron, magnesium, aluminum, calcium, and potassium. So in other words, they just messed up everything.
Or in other words, the recall people just messed up everything because it's all a dream.
Or is it? Dun dun dun.
It is a dream. I'm going on record saying yes, it's a dream. The whole thing was a dream. That would kind of
bad science.
I don't know about that. Have you seen any sci-fi movies? Tell me any of them that have good science.
Remake of RoboCop.
The remake of RoboCop.
That had good science in it?
Yeah, the entire part about, swapping out the blood, we can't do that now, but you do have to keep your metal levels in check.
Okay.
If you're an amputee.
Alright.
Okay.
But regardless. Yeah, this movie takes viewers. The biggest thing I have about this movie is not so much, not even physics. It's just, actually, yes, it is physics. That is not a happy ending. They would all freeze. They would freeze to death. You would be massively irradiated by solar waves, and you would get severe cancers and die because Mars doesn't have that big of an atmosphere. It doesn't have an ozone layer. Tyler's on his phone.
It's okay. It's okay.
But no, it's not okay because everyone would die.
No, that's not what I wasn't saying it was okay about that. I was saying it's okay that Tyler's on his phone. We got it sorted out. And also, as for your part, it's a movie.
I don't care.
Art. It's art.
Where's your sense of art?
Right now, my sense of art is dead. I'm tired. It's 10:30.
Where's your sense of imagination?
That part never sleeps. You should see some of my freaking dreams. They scare me.
You should hear his dreams. He's got a long-running series in his head.
Yeah. I dream up series. In fact, one of the weirder dreams was...
I think...
Hey, here, Ian. One of the weirder dreams 2 days ago was a dinosaur with a human head.
Whose
the
head?
bad science. It hurts.
Whose head?
Whose head? Ian's.
Mine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he ate someone.
I ate someone. Who did I eat?
A random person.
Oh, okay. Well, list him as unlucky bastard in the credits, just like in The Lost World.
Exactly.
Okay. Alright, anyway,
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah, we are. So Total Recall. Let's see. So out of 10 stars, I gotta give it maybe an 8.5, because really just for the writing and there was just the use of practical effects. I always love seeing like the use of miniatures and just an actual puppetry in movies, and of course when it comes to modern movies, I like the blend between both the digital and the practical. In this one, there's just simple. It's just the simple old-fashioned stuff, which I do like, and so yeah, it's a little bit biased. But the writing the writing of itself, how the plot works is just simple and straightforward. So yeah, I'd give it 8.5.
Mine's an 8.
I gotta say, yeah, 8.5. I mean, Arnold already gives it some extra points, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, the writing is really good, and it brings up some questions that don't really have easy answers. And I think that's what a good film should do. Usually.
Honestly, I wish there was more films like that.
Yeah, it does. So we're kind of all agreed. Total Recall is a out of 10. Yeah.
It is a out of 10. Yeah.
Alright, so that concludes today's episode of Nerdvana Podcast. Well, not today's, this month's episode of Nerdvana Podcast. Join us next month, where we will be finally putting
let's keep it a surprise.
Are you really should? Okay, well, you know, in the spirit of the holidays, in the spirit of the holidays, surprise! A surprise will be there for next month. Alright, so, until then, this is John Murphy,
Tyler Tyson,
and Ian Benoit.
signing off.